Hi guys, welcome to part 7 of dermatology. Today we're going to discuss about bacterial infections, but before that we have a small part of part 6 that was left. That was the diagnostic criteria of atopic dermatitis. Okay, what is the diagnostic criteria? Basically called as, it is called as Hanifin and Rajka. Okay, if they'll ask you what is the hallmark, the hallmark guys is pruritus. Pruritus matlab khujli. Okay, itchiness. Okay, the patient will say that it can either happen at times that he feels itchy, that is basically intermittent कि मतलब कभी कभी होता है, whereas intense is मतलब एकदम मतलब he really wants to itch. Okay, that is basically going to be intense type of pruritus. Okay, next guys, what is the course? They'll ask you what kind of a disease is atopic dermatitis guys. It is a chronic, मतलब for a very long time it's happening. Okay, it is chronic, and guys it is chronically relapsing as well. Okay, and very important thing that you need to know in the personal or the family history of this patient is going to be atopy. What does atopy basically mean? Atopy guys is basically when the person itself genetically is prone to having allergies, like what? Allergic rhinitis or asthma. Okay, so this patient is genetically prone to having allergies, or matlab prone to having, matlab he's more prone to have allergies towards things that are not even harmful. Okay, towards non-harmful substances as well. That is basically what atopy means. Okay, next guys, if they'll ask you what is the treatment of atopic dermatitis, if they will ask you topically, first thing that I'll tell the patient, use moisturizer. That means emollients. Okay, next I can also give topical steroids. If they'll ask you what is the systemic therapy that I can get, systemic therapy guys, we can go for systemic steroids or cyclosporin. Okay, this is all about diagnostic criteria for atopic dermatitis. Now let us move on to the next chapter, that is your infections, your bacterial infections. Okay, first guys, let us talk about what is pyoderma. The word pyo means pus. What does pyo mean? Pyo means pus and derma means skin. Okay, so basically it is a bacterial skin infection. Okay, and there are two classifications for this. One is going to be a follicular pyoderma, one is going to be a non-follicular. This is follicular. Non-follicular pyoderma. First guys, let us look at what is follicular pyoderma. In follicular pyoderma, first let us look at the etiology. What is basically causing this? It is going to be a Staph aureus. Okay, Staph aureus is a gram-positive bacteria. Okay, it is a gram-positive bacteria. Now guys, let us look at the different type of follicular pyodermas. First, let us talk about folliculitis. Now, the word folliculitis itself has follicle. Okay, the only word that I can see is follicle. So guys, the label is only and only going to be your hair follicle. It is only and only going to involve your hair follicle. Okay, and this is a follicle oriented pustule. You guys can see there was basically follicle hair, your hair follicle, and it is only and only oriented to your hair follicle. On the other hand guys, we have this thing called as furuncle. Okay, furuncle, or in a layman terms we call it a boil. This furuncle guys is going to involve two things. It is going to involve your hair follicle as well as a perifollicle area. Means if this is my hair follicle, it is also going to involve the perifollicular, means around the follicle area as well. Okay, you guys can see, okay, over here this is a red. Oh, obviously I can see it is red. Okay, it is a tender, I mean it looks so painful. Okay, and it is a nodule. Okay, and this is your it's around your hair follicle. It's multiple, you guys can see around your hair follicle involving the perifollicle, means involving the area around it. That is your furuncle, or in our layman terms we call it as a boil. Okay, now on the other hand guys, we have this thing called as carbuncle. Now you guys might get confused with how will I differentiate between a follicle and a folliculitis and a furuncle. Guys, the word uncle is over here. You always know uncles, they keep on roaming here and there. Okay, means your uncle is going to affect you. You are a hair follicle, and it is also going to affect people around you. That is your perifollicular area. So remember it that way. Okay, next guys, let us talk about carbuncle. Carbuncle का level क्या होगा? The carbuncle is basically going to involve multiple hair follicles. What is it going to? It is going to involve multiple hair follicles. And one very important point that you guys need to know, it is contagious. Contagious to what? To the adjacent area. मतलब बगल वाले area को भी affect करेगा. Okay, adjacent area. That means it's going to affect the nearby area as well. Okay, this carbuncle, sorry, you guys look. This is your carbuncle. Okay, this is a carbuncle. You guys can see it's very painful. Okay, it is a red tender nodule. What is it? It is a red tender nodule. Okay, and you guys can see multiple pustules are there. Multiple pustules are there, right? And what is this region, guys? What is this region? This is the back of my neck. What do I call the back of my neck? It is called as a nape. So what is this side? The side, guys, is going to be the nape of the neck. The back of your neck basically means nape. So nape of your neck is affected in cases of carbuncle. Okay, and one very important association that you have to keep in your mind is going to be diabetes mellitus. Okay, so this is all about your carbuncle. This is the nape of your neck. Nape matlab back of your neck. Okay, and that is your carbuncle that is affecting this. Okay, whereas your furuncle, guys, hair follicle plus perifollicular area. Okay, so guys, how will I differentiate furuncle and carbuncle? Obviously on the basis of my side. Nape of the neck आया मतलब carbuncle. ठीक है? Next we will talk about this non-follicular pyoderma. Okay, let us see. Okay, there are two types. It's going to be localized or it is going to be spreading. Okay, it's going to either be localized or spreading. First, let us look at the localized wala. Under localized, guys, we have impetigo. What do we have? We have impetigo. Impetigo is basically bacterial infection of your epidermis, means of the topmost layer. Bacterial infection of the topmost layer, that is your epidermis, is basically your impetigo. Whereas what is ecthema? Ecthema, guys, it is deeper. Okay, it's deeper, so means it will obviously have an ulcerative lesion. Okay, so it is a deeper it is deeper of an ulcerative variety of an impetigo. Matlab it is a variety of impetigo, but it is going to be deeper and it is going to be ulcerative in nature. That is an ecthema. Okay, next what you need to know is the Spreng type. Under Spreng type, guys, we have two things. One is your erysipelas and one is your cellulitis. Okay, now guys, first let us discuss erysipelas. Erysipelas is caused only and only with the help of one organism, that is apna that is apna group A streptococci. What causes it? That is your group A streptococci. Okay, whereas guys, cellulitis is caused because of two organisms, that is your group A streptococci and your Staph aureus. How am I going to remember this? That erysipelas is because of one organism. Guys, look at the letter L. How many times is L in erysipelas? That is only one. So only one organism is basically causing erysipelas, and that is group A streptococci. And also remember, A1 is the first number. So what is the first alphabet? That is going to be A. So I'm going to remember group A streptococci basically causing erysipelas. Okay, try and remember, make mnemonics, make whatever way you can remember. Make sure it's written in the name itself so that in the exam you can remember it. Okay. Next, guys, in cellulitis, I can obviously see two L's. There are two L's. Means there are two organisms that is causing cellulitis. That is going to be a group A streptococci and a Staph aureus. Okay. Now let us understand this in a much better depth. Erysipelas, guys, involves the upper half of your dermis and your lymphatics. What is involved? It involves the upper half of the dermis and your lymphatics. These guys are going to have a well-defined margin. What is it going to have? It is going to have a well-defined raised margin. Okay, it is going to have a well-defined raised margin. Whereas, guys, cellulitis, it is going to involve Okay. Cellulitis, it first of all, the most important thing is that it is ill demarcated. Ill demarcated matlab it is irregular. It is irregular and it has diffuse margins. Okay, how is the image going to look at? The image will give you a patient's leg. Okay, this is the feet of the patient and there is this, it's a red irregular bordered wala lesion. Okay, this is going to be your cellulitis. Understood? Let us move on now. Now, guys, let us look at impetigo. What is impetigo? Impetigos are of two types. One is a non-bullous impetigo and one is a bullous impetigo. First, let us look at non-bullous impetigo. Non-bullous impetigo, also called as impetigo contagiosa. Okay, what is the etiology? What is causing this? Again, your Staph aureus and your group A streptococcus. Okay, how is the clinical feature going to see? You guys might have heard this question 100 times. Okay, there is a child who comes with golden brown honey crust. This is your hint. This is the point. You see this in the exam. You will close your eyes and you will mark non-bullous impetigo and come. Okay, what is this? It is your golden brown honey crust. Golden brown honey crust in a child is going to tell me that this is a non-bullous impetigo. And let us look at this non-bullous impetigo. You guys can see this. Let me just erase this. Okay, this is your golden brown. Okay, this is your golden brown honey color crust. Okay, and if you guys can see what is a site involved here, first is going to be a perioral. What is it? It is a perioral area, and it is your perinasal area as well. Perinasal. In this picture you can beautifully appreciate both the sites that is involved, that is your perinasal area and your perioral area, and the crust as well, that is your golden brown honey crust. Okay, this is a non-bullous impetigo. Next guys, in bullous impetigo, what is the etiology? There's only one etiology that causes it, is your Staph aureus. Your Staph aureus basically releases a toxin. This toxin will cause a bulla. Okay, this toxin released with your Staph aureus will cause a bulla. Okay, so what is the clinical feature going to be? It is the crust is going to be a varnish type. And what is the site? The site, guys, is going to be a trunk. What is the site? The site is going to be a trunk. Okay, you guys can see where this is your bulla. Okay, these were your bullas. Okay, and these are the ruptured bullas. Okay, and if they'll ask you guys what is the treatment, the treatment is going to be topical antibacterials. Okay, you will give topical antibacterials. And what are the different topical antibacterials? It is going to be a fusidin, it is going to be a mupirocin, and your olenoxin. Okay, olenoxacin. Okay, olenoxacin. Okay, guys, these all antibacterials will basically go and inhibit your MRSA, that is a methicillin resistant Staph aureus. Okay. Now guys, let us move on to the next topic, that is going to be SSSS. Okay, that is staphylococcal scalded skin syndrome. The word scalded means burnt. Okay, the word scalded means burnt. Okay, if anyone will ask you to describe this lesion, guys, this lesion is acute in nature. It is acute, okay, and there is this skin exfoliation. What does exfoliation means? Means removal, skin exfoliation, which very important is caused because of a toxin. And who releases this toxin, guys? It is going to be apna Staph aureus. It is written in the name itself, that is your staphylococcal scalded skin syndrome. There was a toxin released by a staphylococcus which basically caused exfoliation of your skin, and it was in an acute form. Okay, now let us understand this a little better. That guys, there was a distant focus matlab there was an ear infection probably. Okay, this ear infection basically had a bacteria. Kaun sa bacteria? It had your Staph aureus. Staph aureus, guys, as mentioned earlier, is a gram positive bacteria. This Staph aureus, guys, released a toxin. It released an exotoxin. This exotoxin, guys, it is epidermolytic. What is it? It is epidermolytic. Basically means it will lyse your epidermis. It will tear your epidermis. Okay, it is epidermolytic in nature. Okay, and guys, this toxin will go to your skin via which route? Via hematogenous route. Okay, very important. Next guys, SSSS wala patients are going to be mostly children. Okay, what is the constitutional symptom that you will see along? You're going to see the patient will come with fever. Very important thing that you will see in the question is going to be sheet-like epidermal peeling. What is it? It is going to be sheet-like epidermal peeling in a child. This is a PYQ. Okay, and sheet-like epidermal peeling, basically guys, now you tell me what is that sign called as, where I'm applying tangential pressure over the skin and the upper layer separates from the lower layer. That is very good. It is your true Nikolsky sign. It is your true Nikolsky sign which is seen in SSS. Okay, remember this. Okay, now guys, see, this is the picture of your SSS. Okay, you guys can see this sheet-like appearance. Okay, you can see this sheet-like appearance. You can see that skin is just peeling off. It is coming off. You guys remember when we were small, we used to put Fevicol or Fevikwik over your hand, which keep peeling, and the sheet-like appearance used to come. So remember something like that. That is how SSSS is going to look like. Okay, next guys, one more important thing that you guys need to remember is this box. If they'll ask you what is the target protein, the target protein, guys, is going to be your desmosomes. Okay, what is the target antigen? Target antigen is desmoglein. What is the split level, guys? Split level is going to be subcorneal. Okay, and what is the process called as? The process is called as acantholysis. Okay, next guys, now I've already mentioned the target antigen was desmoglein. Okay, desmoglein 1. It is desmoglein 1. Okay, now if you guys remember, when we made a table that differentiated your pemphigus foliaceus from your pemphigus vulgaris, we spoke about desmoglein 1 number there also, and how we remembered that foliaceus mother F means first, so that means desmoglein number 1 is for pemphigus foliaceus. Over there guys, I mentioned that desmoglein 1 is going to be in low concentrations in your oral mucosa. That is why this patient is going to have, no, this is your oral mucosa. This patient is going to have normal oral mucosa. Why? Because of desmoglein 1 being in low concentration. Okay? Always guys, whenever you're studying, make sure you guys are correlating so that you guys are revising it as well and you don't forget it. Okay? Next guys, if they'll ask you what is the differential diagnosis, the differential diagnosis guys is going to be 10. And how am I going to differentiate the both? There is going to be mucosal involvement over here. Okay? What is going to be the treatment? The organism that was causing this was Staph aureus. So obviously I'm going to give a penicillin resistant penicillin. That is going to be your coccycillin, your oxacillin or your dicloxacillin. Okay? Oxacillin, you just have to remember this. Okay? Your oxacillin. जिधर भी ये दिख गया, that is your penicillin resistant, penicillinase resistant penicillin. Okay? Next guys, let us move on to the next topic, that is your cutaneous cornybacterial infections. In your cutaneous cornybacterial infections, the most important is going to be your erythrasma. Okay, it is going to be erythrasma. What does the word erythra mean? Erythra means red. Okay? Next guys, one more PYQ is going to be what is the etiology, what is causing this erythrasma. That is going to be a cornybacterial miniotissimum. Okay, that is your that causes erythrasma. Okay, now let us look at the lesion. Okay, let us look with the help of this image. Is this symmetrical or asymmetrical? This is asymmetrical. It is going to be asymmetrical in nature. You guys can see this red brown color hyperpigmentation. This is the normal skin and you guys can see hyperpigmentation over here. Okay, so what does the lesion look like? It looks like it is an asymmetrical reddish brown hyperpigmentation. Okay, and what is this site guys? This site is your axilla. This site is your axilla. Okay, this is your axilla. It also involves another fold, that is your groin region. Okay, this involves your axilla and your groin. And one very important PYQ, that is the wood lamp finding. What is the wood lamp finding guys? It is your coral red. And how I told you to remember this guys? एरेथ्रा का मतलब क्या था? रेड, लाल. So it is over here red. The only thing I need to remember is coral. So it will give me a coral red appearance on what? On Wood's lab. Okay, this is very important. Okay. Next guys, let us move on to trichomycosis. Now you guys might be saying कि यार mycosis मतलब fungus रहता है. No, this is a misnomer. Misnomer मतलब ऐसा, the name is like that, but it does not make sense. Okay, that particular word does not make sense. Okay, so even though trichomycosis is written here, this is a bacterial infection. Which bacterial? It is a cornybacterial infection caused because of Cornybacterium tenuis. Okay, tenuis. Okay, it is caused because of Cornybacterium tenuis. And how am I going to remember this guys? Trichomycosis has T in it. So what is the etiology? What is causing it? It is going to be your tenuis. Okay? That's how I'll remember it. Okay. Next guys, this Trichomycosis axillaris, basically on the lesion is going to give you yellow axillary hair. Okay, you guys can see this. This is your yellow. Let me use another color. This is your yellow axillary hair. Okay, this is yellow color axillary hair. Okay, this patient will come with, you'll ask this patient to shave it off and keep it clean. Okay. So what is the site? Obviously, in the name it's written away, axillaris. So the site is going to be axilla. Okay. Next guys, let us move on to the next topic, that is a pitted keratolysis. Pitted keratolysis guys, what is the etiology? The etiology is going to be Micrococcus. Okay, it can either be Micrococcus or Chytococcus sedantaris. Okay, Micrococcus or Chytococcus sedantaris. Let me show you this image. Okay, you guys can see this pitted keratolysis. You can see multiple pits. Okay, and guys, what is the site? The site is going to be your palms, or in this image you can see it is your soles. Okay, and how am I going to remember this sedantaris that causes pitted keratolysis guys? Whenever you go to a beach में क्या है? Sand है ना? So sedantaris kind of sounds like sand. So whenever you go on sand, you want to walk barefoot. So that is how I'll remember. And whenever I walk barefoot, micro particles, so that's how I'll remember Micrococcus. Okay, will come and touch my feet. Okay, so sedantaris matlab sand, micro particles will tell me about Micrococcus, and what is it affecting? It is affecting my feet. Okay, so this is pitted keratolysis. Okay, next guys, let us talk about cutaneous tuberculosis infection. In cutaneous TB infections, what you guys need to remember, the first thing is going to be lupus vulgaris. Okay, and what is going to be the root? The root can either be exogenous or endogenous. If we will talk about the lesion guys, the center of the lesion will show atrophy plus scarring, but The periphery will show me active lesions, active advancing margin. Okay, there's an active advancing margin. Okay, so you guys look at this image. This is this is my whole lesion. Okay, this lesion is showing me atrophy plus scarring. Okay, but guys, you guys can see the margins. The margins are advancing and they are going ahead and ahead. Okay, the margins are active and they are advancing margins. Okay, next, very important PYQ, guys. Apple jelly nodules on dioscopy. This is a PYQ. Apple jelly nodules on dioscopy is basically your lupus vulgaris. Okay, it's your lupus vulgaris. Okay, this is an important PYQ. And what is the side, guys? You guys can see this is the bum of the patient. That means your buttocks. That is your buttocks. One is your buttocks. You can see, remember this image. Next, guys, your face also will be involved, and also your extremities. Your face, your extremities, and your buttocks. Okay. Next, guys, let's talk about scrofluoroderma. Scrofluoroderma, guys, is the most common cutaneous TB in a child. Most common cutaneous TB in a child is a scrofluoroderma. Okay. What is the root? The root is going to be endogenous in nature. And let us talk about the infection a little bit. Guys, there will be a focus in infection. There will be an infection in a particular place. Like it could be your lymph, it could be your bone, or in the fascia. This, guys, basically will move your Mycobacterium tuberculosis to your skin. This, guys, will go and cause a direct skin invasion, basically causing a scrofluoroderma. And if they will ask you what is the most common site, guys, the most common focus they will ask you is going to be a cervical lymph node. What is it? It is going to be a cervical lymph node. That is why, guys, you can see over here that the lesion is on the neck of the patient. It is in the neck of the patient. And one very important thing you guys need to know is, okay, that see, let us talk about the lesion a little bit. Okay, these lesions, guys, are going to be painless. Okay, it is going to be a painless subcutaneous lesion. Okay, you guys can see this is involving the lymph node. Okay, what happens over here, guys? This lesion will basically it will show ulceration. Okay, what happens is it will rupture. First it will rupture, and this rupture, okay, basically it will form a sinus. This sinus, guys, you can sinus opening, it will form a sinus. This sinus will give you ulcerations. You guys can see this is red ulceration, which will eventually go and form a scarring or a fibrotic scar. What will it cause? It will cause a fibrotic scar. So what happened? There was a cervical lymph node that was the focus, most common focus. Okay, what happened? The lesion ruptured. It formed a sinus. This sinus eventually it formed an ulcer. That ulcer eventually formed a fibrotic scar. Okay, this is basically about the lesion. Over here I can see this side, guys. The side can either be your neck or your axilla. In your axilla it will involve your axillary lymph nodes. Okay? This was all about your scrofluoroderma. Most commonly a child is involved. Okay, remember that. Next, guys, let us move on to the next, that is your scrub typhus. Your scrub typhus, guys, it is caused because of Orientation tsutsugamisha. Okay, this is a Chinese or a Japanese or whatever it is. What basically means is small. Okay, it means a small thing that basically causes a big thing. Okay, that is your Orientation tsutsugamisha. Okay. What is a vector, guys? The vector is going to be a tuberculate mite. What is it? It is a trombiculate mite. Okay, it is a trombiculate mite that causes scrub typhus. That is a vector. Okay. Now the patient, guys, what are the clinical features? The patient will come with fever. Okay, the patient will come with fever, with myalgia, which basically is muscle pain. The patient will come with body pain and CNS symptoms. Remove the skin over here. That was supposed to be in the next slide. Okay, so this is basically the clinical features. Patient will come with fever, with myalgia and CNS symptoms. Okay, if they'll ask you what is the skin manifestation look like, guys, the skin manifestation will have a black scab. What will it have? It will have a black scab that is surrounded with erythema. Now let us look at the image and understand this better. Okay, you guys can see this the black scab, right? This is the black scab that is surrounded by a red erythema. The periphery is going to be erythematous. Okay, that means red. Okay, and what is this lesion, guys, called as? This is called as an eschar. What is it called as? It is called as an eschar. Eschar मतलब center में काला होगा और बगल around it will be red in color. ठीक है? If they'll ask you guys what is the differential diagnosis, the differential diagnosis is going to be cutaneous anthrax. And guys, this cutaneous anthrax falls under bioterrorism category A. This is a pathology question. This is also P by Q. Category A bioterrorism was basically, this was used as, that was your cutaneous anthrax. Okay. Next guys, let us move on to the next topic, that is your acute paronychia. Acute paronychia, guys, this is an acute infection of the nail fold. It is an acute infection of your nail fold. So what is going to be the level that is involved here? Obviously common sense, nail fold. Okay. What is the etiology? What is causing this is basically our Staph aureus. Okay. And how is the lesion going to look at? You guys can see over here, I can see this swelling first of all, right? I can see swelling around that. You guys can see this red color, redness. Okay. You can see redness as well as, guys, a pus. Okay, you guys can see pus as well. Okay, so what is there? There will be swelling, there will be redness, and there will be pus. Can I see all of this in this image? Yes, I can see. I can see the swelling around the nail fold. I can see redness as well as pus. Okay. And if they'll ask you what is the treatment, guys, is going to be, I can either give antibiotics or I can do a surgical drainage. Okay. Thank you so much. See you in the next part.